to come as well. We probably will need a bigger room than the one we usually need in.
I'm sure we'll manage. Jan likes the small, cozy one, so I think that's the best.
Has anyone heard about Jyotika?
Carmen and I were just chatting about her. Carmen called her to remind her, but or Carmen will say, Carmen said she's a little forgetful and a little weaker these days. Is that right, Carmen? Yes.
She said she would join today, but I'm not sure if she. I called her an hour ago, half an hour ago, but I'm not sure. We will see.
สวัสดีค่ะคุณซาร่า I want to share you Dream iPad is my daughter.
Hello.
On everyone.
Dream, nice.
Dream is your daughter. Good to see you.
Yes.
Okay, how lovely. How lovely.
And Dream, how did you find the last discussion that you joined last week?
Very, very good. It's still in my memory. Still in my memory what we talked about last week.
And could you follow it?
Yes, I could follow it. It was I could follow it, but really understanding and really like realizing everything, it can be a little bit difficult.
Yes.
But it's just following along. I could understand everything, but I think sometimes it's just a little bit at the beginning for me. It's a little bit hard to really listen and also understand following along. Sometimes I have some questions, but then I heard the questions that everybody else asked, and then it answered it for me. So it was good.
And sometimes it seems obvious. Everyone knows there is seeing now, there's hearing now.
Yes,
so
exactly.
we wonder, why do we need to discuss so much? And the point is that we know there's seeing, but is there any understanding of what seeing is? Is there any understanding that it's a Dhamma, not I that sees or I that hears? So what seems quite easy to follow along at the beginning, we begin to realize it's not the real understanding about the nature of these realities. So that's why there has to be the listening and considering again and again.
Yes, exactly.
Good. I'll just see if Ajahn is here. Hi, Sylvia. Good to see you. And
ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ Ajahn. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับท่านอาจารย์สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะท่านอาจารย์
And I think Akhilesh, is it your first time joining us today?
No.
Or first time showing your picture, yes.
Yes, it is.
First time we can see your picture, yes, I remember. I've seen the name, but not your picture, yes. How are you finding the discussions, Akhilesh?
Very interesting and something new.
Yes.
Like I always thought all the eightfold path travel like together, but what I understanding now, first thing is we have to understanding the right view. Right view comes from understanding the theory correctly. Once you know what is the right view completely, then only you can apply it properly.
And of course, the right view is that know you to apply anything.
Yes.
So this is why it's very subtle to begin to understand what is the right view, to begin to understand the seeing that I just mentioned, to dream, or the hearing, or even the right view. It's not my seeing, my hearing, or my right view. It's not I that is applying or doing anything. And this is why we talk about different realities one at a time, because without considering carefully a little more what is seeing, what is seen, for example, then it's impossible for right view to develop. So it develops from the listening, considering, reflecting about the different dhammas to understand a little more that they are just dhammas, not I, not belonging to me, not something in any way.
And every moment of right view is a path moment. So the mental factors arising together with right view are other path factors. So one doesn't need to think of the path factors being developed separately. They develop by arising together. So
What do you mean? What do you mean by rising together?
So when there is a moment of right view, that's a moment of consciousness accompanied by the mental factor of panya, right view. Right view means right understanding.
Yes.
Right? So that is a moment of consciousness which is accompanied by the mental factor of panya, which has as its object a conditioned Dhamma. So that is the moment of right view, and then the concentration arising together with that moment of consciousness of right view is also right concentration. And the effort arising, the mental factor of effort arising together with that moment of consciousness is right effort.
Okay.
So that's how the path factors are developed, by the arising of moments of right understanding. They
Thank you.
cannot, the right concentration cannot be developed as something separate and apart from the moment of right understanding.
Thank you, both Punya.
Right.
Akhilesh, are you from Bangalore as well, or from where are you from?
I'm not I'm from the similar region. I think I stay around 300 kilometer away from Bangalore.
And did you meet Ajahn when she went there recently?
Yes, I was there.
Okay. You made a big trip for all the purpose.
Yes, yes.
Good, good. And I'm sure she asked you, what about now? What about now? Any right view now? What is the truth at this moment?
I did not directly interacted with her, but I was there like when other people asking question. That was giving a lot of clarity. But my view was I was not much familiar with the Abhidhamma. So I was having little bit difficulty to understand what she was saying. But as I started to listening more like from the last class, I got little bit more understanding.
Yeah. Usually people think of the Abhidhamma as something in the textbooks, in the Abhidhamma Pitaka, and usually they think of it as knowing a lot of Pali terms, and they think that it means knowing how many rupas there are, how many rupas are arising at this moment with hardness, and how many chitas there are in a process. But this is book knowledge. So when we discuss about Abhidhamma, Abhidhamma is actually the truth about the very subtle dhammas. So when we talk about life now, seeing now, what is seen now, hearing now, no one who hears, this is actually the study of Abhidhamma, the study of the subtle dhammas, the truth. So it has to be understanding in daily life at this moment. Otherwise, it's just theory, just book knowledge. And one may be an expert in the book knowledge, one may be a Pali expert. But if there's no understanding of what life is now, what reality is now appearing, then there's no benefit. It could be the study of any other scientific subject, for example. So the Abhidhamma is the careful study, consideration, and understanding about what is true at this very moment. What is touched now? Is it a computer keyboard or telephone, or is it just hardness now? Do my fingers touch, or do I touch? Or is it just the touching, the bodily experiencing of that hardness for a moment and then gone? Because whatever arises is gone instantly. So the purpose of the study of dhammas or abhidhamma is to gradually let go of the idea of I, of atta, of someone, of something, to begin to understand that there are just dhammas arising and falling away by conditions in life, each one gone, of no importance. And this is a way there can be a little less clinging to what has been seen or heard and already passed away. Pleasant feeling gone instantly. Each Dhamma is just an element that arises and is gone instantly, not worth clinging to at all. Anyway, I just passed the microphone to Ajahn. I'm sure she'll be glad to chat further to you or Dream or everyone. Ajahn?
What is there now? Is it Dhamma?
Yes.
Why is Dhamma? What is Dhamma?
Dhamma is, we can say it as a truth.
It's real or it's not real?
It is a real.
So whatever is real, it has its characteristic to be known that it's real. Nobody can change its characteristic. It is
Yes.
Dhamma. So Dhamma includes whatever is real. But what is real now?
Real in the sense like I'm feeling like if my body is touching something, I'm feeling that is real.
And reality has its own characteristic, just to be only one reality. So
Yeah.
each reality has its own characteristic to be just that particular reality, never mixed with any reality at all. One is one reality. So what is real now?
Uh, the existence, I think.
Right now, this moment, what is real? So very common in life, each moment. And now, this moment, what is real at this moment? Just one.
Just rising and falling,
What
or
arise and fall?
like thoughts, or rising and falling of thoughts, or
Right.
rising and falling of.
Is there seeing right now?
Yes.
Is it real?
It's.
Is it real seeing right now?
Yes.
If it hasn't arisen, can they be seeing now?
Yes.
If it hasn't been arising, can they be seeing? If it does not arise, can they be seeing?
No.
So seeing is conditioned to arise.
Yes.
Without conditions, nothing can arise at all. So seeing is real. And what else is real now? Not only seeing.
Hearing.
At moment of seeing, what is real as well.
The real, I thought I can, the touching,
At moment of seeing, seeing is real. Is
yes,
there anything else at moment of seeing which is real right now? Everything
yes.
can be studied. What is real right now besides seeing?
Besides seeing when contact happened, the mind also, there is a touching of the mind.
We don't talk about mind or anything else. We just talk
Mm.
about moment of seeing right now. Seeing is real. It sees. What else is real besides seeing? What is real now?
Hearing,
At moment of seeing only, what is real?
remember,
At the moment of seeing, what is real in addition to the seeing
addition of
itself?
seeing like rising and falling, like my seeing also constantly changing. It's not constant.
In a moment of seeing, a single
Yes,
moment of seeing, what else is real at that moment?
I don't know.
Does the seeing experience any object?
No,
So if the seeing doesn't experience anything object, does it mean nothing is seen?
yes,
Like now, there is seeing now. Is anything seen?
no.
No. So if nothing is seen, how can there be the thinking about Nina or Jonathan or different people on the screen?
That we have a perception, like we try
Yes,
to identify everything.
right. There's memory and there's thinking about what is seen. So to the moment of seeing, there must be the visible object that is seen, which is remembered and then thought about
Yeah,
countless times. So there has to be the color or the visible object that is seen at that moment of seeing, just for a moment and then gone, and many, many countless moments of seeing, so that the remembering perception conditions the thinking about different colors, different shapes, different pictures, different faces, and so on. So besides the seeing, there must be the reality of the rupa that is seen, the visible object that is seen at that moment. So there
yeah,
must be the seeing and there must be the visible object that's seen. And for that visible object to be seen, there must be eye sense, another rupa, another element, in order for the visible object to have impinged or contacted the eye sense. Otherwise, the seeing couldn't see it. So at a moment of seeing must be what is visible, and there must be the eye sense. But each one is just a Dhamma, an element arising and falling away. And at another moment, there is hearing of sound. So the sound is different from the hearing. So it's another reality. So one moment of seeing, at a different moment hearing, at a different moment thinking about what's seen or what is heard. So we learn gradually, a little by little, about different realities, those realities that experience an object like seeing or hearing or thinking, and those realities, those dhammas that don't experience anything, such as the sound or the visible object or the hardness that is touched. Two different kinds of realities, those that experience and those that cannot experience. And we just begin to learn a little more about them, to understand no eye that sees, no eye that has right view, no eye that touches the hardness, just different dhammas. So this is the meaning of Dhamma.
Akhilesh, you probably, I think that you probably haven't heard anywhere else speak about Dhamma in terms of realities, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So realities is the English word for Dhamma. So the study of Dhamma is the study of realities. And that's why Achan here and Sarah and everyone else keep reminding us about the realities now, the Dhamma now, because there can only ever be study of Dhamma of what appears, what is real now. Do you agree? Can the reality that has fallen away be studied? The reality that has not come be studied?
No.
So only that which appears now, which has
Yeah.
arisen and is appearing now, it can be the object of study, right?
Yes.
So that's why Sarah keeps reminding us all about what appears now. And that's because Achan has been teaching that for 70 years. And, but, you know, you can say we keep forgetting because we don't get it. The Dhamma is deep. And we get attached to the explanations, to the words, but forget that the reality, Dhamma study, is now.
Yes.
Right. So that's what it's all about. Just now, you were talking earlier about the path, and you understand that before you understood that they all, must be developed together. But now you understand that without right understanding, that has to come first, and everything follows from right understanding. You can see that. I think you can begin to appreciate that Sarah and Achan and everyone else reminding you about the reality now. It means understanding the reality now, right?
Yes.
And understanding is a wholesome activity. And that moment, there must be sati. There must be concentration, which is a universal cetasika, right?
Yeah.
There must be effort to understand.
Yes.
So when we talk about the Noble Eightfold Path, we're talking about Panya being the leader. Without right understanding, the others cannot be right. So the meaning of right effort, right concentration, right mindfulness, etc., is because at that moment there's right understanding, and that is the path. And understanding what? Understanding the reality now.
Got it.
And what we are hearing about is actually not Ajahn teaching or my teaching or anyone's, it's what the Buddha taught. So it's what we can read about, what we can hear about the Buddha taught about seeing now, what is seen now. And Sylvia, I just asked a question in the notes, whether we can break it down. So Sylvia, let's go through one at a time. So seeing now, at this moment, we're chatting here, but there has to be seeing. If there was no seeing, nothing would be seen. And we think at this moment we see people and colors and different backgrounds, but actually it's just color that's seen, just what is visible that's seen. But so quickly there is the clinging to what is seen, the thinking about the different shapes, patterns, colors, different people, different hairstyles, and so on. So this is not seeing. So seeing is just the moment of experiencing by way of seeing what is visible. Other moments of consciousness experience what is visible, but only the moment of seeing sees it. And it just for a moment and then gone. And in between the processes of through the idol, there is thinking about what is seen, remembering, and so on. So countless moments of seeing, rising and falling away. So this is seeing. Go on.
So Sarah, so in the moment of seeing, where the visible object impinges, that is seeing. And then, so what is visible? So say it's a color, but then where does our sense come into it? Is that
Okay.
something different now? Or how
Yes.
is seeing and our sense?
So,
Is it not the same thing? Well, it's
so
not.
as we mentioned, there are two kinds of realities, the namas. I think you're familiar with the word
Yes.
namas, those realities that experience an object, such as
Yes.
seeing, and
Yes.
those realities, like what is visible. We can say color or visible object or light, it doesn't matter what is seen. It is not a nama, it's a rupa. It doesn't experience anything at all.
Right.
In order for the visible object to be seen, there must be eye sense. For someone who's completely blind, no eye sense, nothing is seen. So
Yes.
even though visible objects are rising and falling away,
Yeah.
they're not seen. So there must be eye sense, which is another rupa. It doesn't experience anything. So like the visible object, it's a rupa that arises and falls away. It's conditioned by past karma. So the visible object has to impinge on the eye sense. At this moment, if there's no visible object, no seeing. If there's no eye sense, no seeing. So there must be both the visible object and the eye sense in order for seeing to arise
Right.
and experience what is visible and then gone.
Can I just add briefly, the term eye sense may be a bit misleading because we think of a sense as being something that perceives.
Yes.
But in fact, here it refers to, it's also sometimes called the eye base, and which perhaps helps to appreciate better that it's just a piece of matter rather than a perception.
Yeah.
But the reason it's called eye sense is that it's matter that is sensitive to that particular object, that is the visible object. So in the ear sense is matter that is sensitive to sound. And so if sound impinges on the ear sense or ear base, it is then becomes the object of the ear consciousness or hearing.
Right.
So it's eye sense or eye base, and it's materiality, not a perception. Thanks.
Okay.
And
Sorry to really carry on about this, but I just want to answer the initial question that Ajahn actually asked. What is there now? So can somebody answer that question? Can John or Sarah please answer that question? What is there now?
I would like to just give a brief answer. Ajahn asked, in addition to the seeing, what else is real at the moment
That's
of
right.
seeing? And
That's
the obvious answer is the object that is seen is real at that moment.
Yes.
There are other realities too, but they don't appear, like the eye sense or eye base we've just been talking about.
Yes.
It doesn't appear to us. It can't be known. What can be known potentially by awareness and understanding is the seeing, the eye consciousness, or the visible object that is the object of the seeing.
Yes.
Just like at the moment of hearing, what can potentially be the object of awareness and understanding is hearing or ear consciousness and sound.
Yes. Okay. So then what is there now? What is there now? If could I say the answer is seeing
Yes.
visible object.
Yes.
And that's all that is there in that moment.
Well, there are other
Or
things, but they're not apparent because the moment
that,
of seeing consciousness is accompanied by mental factors, such as the concentration, and so on and so forth. But they don't not going to appear. So mainly it's just the consciousness and the object that can be known. Yeah.
Okay.
But there's a lot more arising at the same time. Yeah.
So at the same time, it's not exactly true to say there's only visible object, because it's visible object plus there is the sense, what did we call it? The eye base.
Yeah.
Plus arising almost simultaneously is the thinking, the remembering and thinking.
Well, that's subsequent moment, not simultaneous at all. So
the answer to the question is not the thinking part about it. It's only strictly the eye base and the visible
the eye
object.
consciousness and the visible object.
That's all. That's the answer to that question, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
The seeing and the visible object, and then subsequently our moments of thinking about it. But they're not through the eye door, they're through the mind door.
They're through the mind door. Okay. I think I've got it.
And Akhilesh, he asked about the perception. So at each moment, a chitta moment of consciousness, such as seeing, experiences the object. And also with each chitta, there have to be at least 7 cetasikas, 7 mental factors arising with it. And one of these is sanya, or memory, or perception, whatever we like to call it. So it arises with the seeing and marks the object that is seen, so it can be remembered and condition the thinking later. So at each moment in life, there is memory or perception, sanya cetasika. And this is why afterwards there can be thinking in the mind or about the color, the shape, the form, because there have been countless moments of sanya, marking and remembering what's been seen, what's been heard now. This is why there's a little more familiarity with the words now, because sanya has been marking and remembering, and there has been thinking about it. If we hear the sounds in a language that's foreign to us, like if you and I hear the Thai, then not much is marked or remembered because it doesn't have much meaning. So no conditions to think about it afterwards. But if we're listening to the Zoom discussion, at each moment of experiencing, sanya is marking and remembering what's experienced. So there can be thinking about the colors, the names, the patterns, the different dhammas afterwards. So 1 chitta at each moment, only ever 1 at a moment, accompanied by at least 7 cetasikas, only 1 object ever experienced by the chitta and cetasikas. So if it's seeing, only visible object can be experienced. At a moment of hearing, only sound can be heard. So only 1 object. But other realities, such as the eye sense, must have been conditioned to arise and fall away in order for that visible object or the sound to impinge. So a little deeper. And this is Abhidhamma, very subtle dhammas. And I'm sure Ajahn would be glad to discuss further with you and Akhilesh. Ajahn?
Related to this reality of the visible object, characteristic of the reality of the visible object, is it only like lights and color, or shape is also a characteristic of the reality of the visible object?
As soon as there's an impression of shape, then for sure it is thinking about it. It shows how quickly the thinking comes in, even when we say, okay, color is seen, but as soon as there's an idea of white, as in white shirt, or different colors like in Chanti's beautiful heart, then it's thinking about it. Let me pass to Ajahn because she'll be glad to discuss further with you.
Is there any difference between seeing and the object which is seen?
think this is for you, Sylvia, perhaps.
Okay, I was just trying to find how to unmute myself. Is there any difference between seeing and the object? I would say there is the object, and then there is the eye base. Is that correct?
Is there any difference between seeing and the object which is seen?
No. I think, I don't know.
So the object which is seen is seeing.
So there's seeing, which sees the object. So, okay, I changed my answer. I think there is a difference. There's the object, and there is seeing that sees the object.
What is the difference between seeing and that which is seen?
Well, if I can talk through how I'm thinking about this, I would say seeing is conditioned and the object is conditioned to arise. So, and the question was, is there any difference between the two? Is that right?
The question was, what is the difference?
What is
between
the difference?
Mhm.
Well, I think the two is it could seeing be a nama and the object be a rupa. Would that be the difference?
Well,
Yes.
you're just using Pali terms that you've learnt, but in
Well, is it
terms
the
of what, yeah, it's the same question as, is there any difference between hearing and the object of hearing, which is sound? And what is that difference? Or tasting and the object of that which is taste?
yeah, what is the
What you
difference?
said is correct. One is a nama and one is a rupa. But what does that mean?
So
What
one
exactly is the characteristic of hearing, and what is the characteristic of sound? Or what is the characteristic of seeing, and what is the characteristic of what is seen?
See, the characteristic, that word always confuses me. Is it that the one seeing is a mental phenomena and the object is matter, and the two are different?
And so mental phenomenon,
Yes.
we could say in ordinary language, an experiencing.
Okay. So really it's experiencing. There's the object and there's experiencing the object.
Right.
That's
And
the difference.
And every experiencing, of course, has to be of an object.
Of an object.
There can't be any experiencing without there being an object.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but can I refine that a little bit? It's not a question of one experiencing and the other being the object. Here we're talking specifically the nature of the experience and the nature of the object, because experiencing can also experience something that's mental, or it can experience a concept. So it's not a question of being experienced, hence rupa. Rupa or matter is a reality which does not experience anything.
Yes. 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 So, can we just go back to the characteristic? What do we mean when we speak about the characteristic of seeing, for instance?
It just means the nature, the essential nature.
For example, seeing doesn't hear anything. So the nature of seeing is that it sees when it arises, it sees, that's its nature. The nature of hardness that is touched is that it's hard or it's not hot or cold. So it's just the characteristic or the nature of that distinguishes that reality from another.
Okay.
So going back to my question, Sarah or Jonathan, that when an object is seen, the characteristic of that object is usually we say the light is seen or the color is seen, but the shape of that object is also a characteristic, or is it actually a thinking or the idea or the concept?
Yes, it's thinking. And usually, even when we talk about the light or the color, usually it's thinking. Like, for example, if the light is off and we go into a dark room and no light is appearing, still there is visible object that is seen, but no color appearing because there's no light. So it is very subtle. So it's not what we are used to thinking of as being seen. So it's just what is seen at this moment. So we say color or light or visible object, but as soon as there's an impression about colors or about light or about visible object, it's thinking. The thinking comes in very, very quickly. So quickly there is, even in the idle process, there is vitaka arising, attachment arising. So even in the idle process, even though there's no thinking in words, no thinking about shape, it's just the visible object that is experienced, but still it is marked and remembered and thought about instantly. So very, very quickly, and then impressions about the shape, the different colors, and so on.
Mhm. So Yogesh,
Yes.
in what you call a shape,
Yes.
is there only one color? There must be more than one color to be identified, to be recognized as some shape, right?
Yes, right. Basically, what I meant is when the impression, a visible impression, a visual object impression happens, uh, it may be a wrong understanding. The realities in that is color, light, and many colors, and the shape. Shape basically a tree. Tree up to this is the characteristic of that visible object. Now, as soon as we start marking them is a mango tree, or this is a other kind of tree, or that is a flower tree, that is the thinking. That was my understanding actually prior to asking this question.
If
So
we
it could
take
be
the
phrased it this way, that can there be more than one color
Yes,
seen?
yes, yes. Basically, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Sorry, Sarah.
John, to you.
I was going to say to Yogesh, in the case of hearing and sound,
Right.
the sound is just sound. The volume or pitch or tone is part of the shape. And what is known at the moment of hearing is just that it's sound.
Right.
So identifying the tone and pitch, etc., knowing about the shape and form of the audible object, and those must be moments that follow after the moment of experiencing the sound.
Right. Thank you. Yes.
Right.
But each sound is different. So the sound of my voice is different from the sound of Jonathan's voice, high or low, soft, loud. So the sound is just as it is. And that's why it can be memory and thinking about different sounds. Oh, the sound of John's voice or the sound of Sujin's voice and so on. But actually, it's only sound that's heard.
Yeah.
And after that, so quickly, there's thinking about loud, soft, and so on. It's not the sound that is heard just for a moment.
Yeah, the reason I asked this question because recently we were referring this book, Vishuddhi Magga, and probably in that somewhere it is, or Attasalini, where it is mentioned that apart from color and the light, shape is also is a characteristic. So, but it is wrong actually. It is again, it is actually the part of the thinking. The even color is also not actually the reality. It is just what to say, what is the right or right word to
Right.
use here.
That's right. And in those texts, they will talk about, the sound of a bell, or the sound of this, or the sound of a drum, to show that sounds are different, or the color of this, or the color of that, or just to show the colors are different, the sounds are different, but each one is just what is seen or just what is heard. But we have to use words to try to explain that each sound is different, each color is different.
Right.
Yes, and I just wanted to say yes to the Yogesh question, that even color, like what we think that red, white, black, blue, or whatever, even those are not the color that I experience, the eye consciousness. The true color in Abhidhamma, in when Buddha say that what eye consciousness experience is actually visible objects. So already when it's come even to just thinking of red, black, white, blue, this is not color in what Buddha meant. These are already thinking as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yes.
Subtle dharmas, Abhidhamma. Go ahead, Liang.
Sorry, Sarah, to interrupt, and thank you very much. Yeah, Sawadika, Ajahn. And hello, everyone again. Sometimes I heard people say that, light is sin, Yeah, and that's why I just would like to clarify my understanding. Yeah, because when we learn about seeing, hearing, or something about from the text, yeah, sometimes the text said that, at least for seeing to happen, yeah, there are so many paccaya. Yeah, and for example, like visible object as aramana paccaya, eye base as andriya paccaya, or vatopore citta paccaya, and light as upanisya paccaya. That's why from the paccaya, I can see that visible object and light, we can say that different paccaya. Is not light is not aramana paccaya.
Liang, I just want to remind you there are some people here who are not familiar with Pali terms. So if you use Pali terms, please explain them. Otherwise, they won't know what you're talking about. So
Yeah.
aramana is object, yes.
Yeah,
So
aramana. Yeah.
when we're talking about the object of seeing, the aramana of seeing, and we say we can use visible object or we can use light. So at that moment,
Really?
it is the object of seeing.
Oh, yeah, because some books they say that at least we know that there are a lot of conditions that make seeing happen, and one of the condition is
Light.
Yeah,
Yes.
and they say that if we classify the condition, light is different condition and visible object is different condition. That's what they said.
Yes.
And I don't know what they call Upanisya Paccaya in English.
So this is your chance to learn English. We're discussing in English because otherwise people are lost. So this is talking about a condition which is the habit, the natural decisive support condition. So if there is attachment now, it's a condition form or attachment in future. So we're not talking about this condition now because we're talking about the object of seeing. And as I mentioned to, I think it was to Akhilesh or it might have been to Yogesh. So at a moment of seeing, it needs light, otherwise no colors appear. But even when we go into a dark room and there's no light, there is seeing, but no colors appear because the object is not light. There's no light at that moment. So that's why it's very subtle, and why, as Ajahn stresses, best to look at one word at a time, like aramana, object. We can look at one word at a time. We don't need to start talking about many different conditions, otherwise it can lead to confusion, like Bhagavad Upanishad is not relevant because we're just talking about seeing, which is the result of karma, which sees the object, the aramana, conditioned by temperature. Yes, so different conditions. I'm going to encourage Ajahn to speak more now, because she's been listening to you and everyone else. Ajahn?
Yeah, thank you.
Dhamma is so very subtle. That's why in order to understand the truth of each reality, it takes quite a long time to consider, reconsider, more careful, on and on, until we can answer the question about any reality. For example, can red be the object of seeing, or blue, or yellow? Can it be the object of seeing?
This is for you, Liang.
Ajahn, I think red or blue can be the object of seeing. Yeah, as
Because
long as you understand that red and blue refer to the visible objects at that
we don't
time.
we don't call it blue or black, but can that be seen by seeing?
Blue or black. I think it can.
Because citta is the chief of experiencing the object clearly. Otherwise, how can it be known as different colors, whether it's very soft pink or very dark brown? See, if it's not seen, how can there be the idea about the differences between the object, which is color? And when we talk about light as a Upanishaya Pajya, very, very common Pajya for everything to arise. We don't know what is what, but what is there must be but Upanishaya Pajya for something because of its nature. That's why even light is the Upanishaya Pajya for moment of experiencing red or blue. See, because now light all day with color or only just light.
Only
See,
just light when at the moment of seeing.
when the light is the object, no color is there. Is it
Yeah.
true?
Yeah.
And when there is color, even if there is light, but the citta, if it does not experience the red and blue, how can it mark, the sanya marks and remembers that it's different for the other citta through mind or take it for different ones? So seeing sees as the chief of experiencing the characteristic or the nature of that which is the object. Only that. It doesn't have the idea of anything at all, but it is the chief. It experiences the object so clear, only clearly, not understanding, but just experience the object very clear. That is the function of citta. But it cannot that understand what is called and so on. But it has to be experienced by seeing. Otherwise, what can experience it if it's not citta? But no word, but it has experienced already that object for the other moment to take it for inward, for what and what, inward. But in truth, without word, it's there already experienced. Otherwise, how come to be such idea of red and blue? We don't have to use any term, but the object which appears is different. Is that right?
Yes,
See,
yes.
that's why we learn to understand the very subtle characteristic or nature of any reality as it is. Never mix them up, be otherwise so complex. No understanding of anyone clearly at all. Each cetasika, like vitaka and vichara and so on, if there is no understanding, it's just remembering the word. One citta has to have 7 cetasikas at least. At least. What does it mean? The other moment, besides those cittas with only 7 cetasikas, there must be more than 7 cetasikas. And now I think that everyone knows what cetasika means or what is cetasika. The reality which experiences the object arises together with citta, experience the same object, but it does not experience the object clear as citta. So only one reality among all other realities which experience the object. There is only one characteristic of reality which arises and experiences the object clearly. Only one. The word for it, Buddha used many words like citta, vijnana, mano, manasa, and so on. But it means to only that which experiences the object only clearly. No understanding, no thought about it. Just sees. See? That's why learn to understand deeper and deeper of any reality in order to let go that it can be the idea of self. It arises and falls away, never to arise again in samsara. So how can it be something or anything or anyone at all? This is the understanding of the anatta, no atta. We live in the world of atta. How long? From birth. People and things are all around. In truth, what is there is only as it is. Sound is sound. Light or visible object or color is experienced one at a time. And the one which experiences the object clearly is citta only. It does not remember, it does not feel at all. It just be the chief of experience of the object. Otherwise, how the object can be known as the real diamond or the fake diamond? Who knows? At moment of touching the jade, the one who is the one who is expert can tell whether it's fake or right or real. See? That's why understand each reality closer as it is. Citta does not remember, and feeling cannot remember. Remember is real. It arises just to mark the object to be remembered later, on and on and on, from moment to moment in life. So, citta arises from thousand and hundred and million years ago, non-stop, from then to now, right now, from just the other moment to this moment, and then to another moment, only one at a time. Who knows? No one at all. And that is the meaning of Dhamma, the reality. different realities, and among those realities, they can be classified as one is the reality which experiences the object, and the other one, they cannot experience any object at all. That's why there is the term Nama for the reality which experiences the object, and the Rupa, the reality which cannot experience at all. So now, the world, whatever is there, arising, is Dhamma. If nothing arises, how can there be a world or any world at all? So whatever arises is a world. So the world is breaking all the time, arising and falling away, unknowingly, replaced by the next moment, on, and condition the idea from the shape and form, the arising and falling away so very rapidly to be something red or black or blue or coat or shoes or bed or curtain, say, all are seen just one moment, so very tiny dot before it can be anything. And the realization of the truth is the Four Noble Truth, talking about what is there, unknown, until hearing about the truth of it from the enlightenment. Just talk about what is there now. As Dhamma, nothing at all, as people and things. Only a reality, conditioned reality, arising and falling away, different from moment to moment, never to arise again in samsara, not just only in this life. Learn to be not blind as before. Begin to understand the truth of what is there. Whatever is there now, not permanent at all.
Still
There
be
must,
blind for so
yeah,
many moments.
yeah.
So to conclude, it means that when there are color like red, blue, brown, yeah, seeing color, yeah, but when no specific color is light is seen. That's from what I'm listening. Yeah,
We can say that what is there is the object experienced by citta.
yeah, like white color or bright color, yeah, at that time. And
Yeah.
one more thing, sometime I heard you mentioned that at the moment of seeing, light is seeing, life is seeing. Yeah, I think maybe you mean about the shortness of life at that time, because sometimes I think that at the moment of seeing, sometimes life refer to Jivatantri Cetasika, like
Only?
yeah, because that the
No,
one that
no
make
citta?
everything can stay until
Do you
their life
mean,
is gone.
do you mean no citta? Only Chivitindriya?
Cheetah, of course.
So
Cheetah
not
like a
just
glass.
one,
Without
not just,
glass, water
yeah,
cannot stay.
not just one reality arising,
Yeah.
no matter nama or rupa, that which are conditions for its arising are there too. Sahachata Patriya,
Yeah.
arising together. So we learn to understand the truth of that which appears from moment to moment, unknown before, that it's not permanent, it's not long enough to take it for a minute. Shorter than that, unknown. See, that's why learn about the truth little by little until it's firm confidence of the truth. Whatever is there is not permanent. And that can be realized little by little, from hearing, considering again and again. 3 rounds of the Four Noble Truths. That's the teachings of the Buddha. Always 3 rounds of the truth. What does it mean? The truth is so subtle. Nothing can be the highest without having the beginning. From the very beginning, up and up and up, or deeper and deeper and deeper, to understand the more subtle and more subtle reality at moment of experiences it. For example, we talk about seeing. It's conditioned. It's now arising and falling away. Just talk about the way it is. But it arises and falls away. For sure, not known. But as it's so true, it's so real, it can be realized by way of the nimitta. Each word is so true, the truth of life. There are so many realities. Can they all be known? Or only that, which is the object of the 6 doorways, one doorway at a time. So the seeing now sees, but before seeing, does it appear? And the citta of the seeings, does it appear? So what appears is just the nimitta of seeing. See, what does not appear, but it's there and it can be known, but it can be understood and it can be realized just only when it appears. Can there be any understanding of that which does not appear now?
Yes,
See,
yes, can be understand. Like sanya, after listening to you, I clearly understand that.
But
Oh, without sanya, I cannot remember Ajahn.
and
but
if
if it
sanya,
doesn't appear,
Yeah, and I understand that even though it doesn't appear like objects, but it appear by like two panya, only two panya.
keep
Yeah,
thinking about it,
yeah,
thinking about it.
thinking. Yeah,
But if it
thinking about
isn't the object of understanding, then it's just
yeah,
thinking about it only. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not through the 5 sense door, only the mind door at the moment.
Only if it appears, only if it is the object. Otherwise, it's just thinking about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
And on what is seen. So, as you say, whatever color it is, and it depends whether there is any light at that moment. It's just what is seen. That's the important point. And yes, light has to be a condition for the color to appear now. Without light, it doesn't appear. And you were talking about life. You were talking about light first and then life. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
because I think the second question is, I heard you guys said that at the moment of seeing life is seeing LIFE.
okay. So the first topic was about light, and the second topic is about LIFE,
Yeah.
life. So there are 2 kinds of realities which are life faculty. One is a nama. So at every moment of experience, one of the cetasikas that arises with every citta is Jivitindriya, which is life faculty, which maintains the citta and the cetasikas.
Yes.
Otherwise, there couldn't be seeing or hearing or thinking or any experiencing of any reality. When we look at a corpse, there's no life faculty, so no experience of any object at all. So this distinguishes the living being from the tree or the corpse. There has to be the Jivitindriya Cetasika, maintaining life, conditioned by karma. And there's also a Jivitindriya Rupa. So if we're talking about those rupas, such as eye sense, which are conditioned by karma, the rupas always arise in a group, a kalapa, I'm sure you know the word. And one of the rupas in that group of rupas conditioned by karma is Jivitindriya Rupa, life faculty Rupa, which conditions those rupas, which arises with that group of rupas conditioned by the Mahabhuta Rupas and conditioned by karma. So very, very intricate, very detailed. So seeing is not life, but without Jivitindriya, without that Chetasika, seeing couldn't arise. So it has to arise with every Chitta in life. So that's why each word, each topic is very intricate. Yes.
I think I understand. I understand what you said, but only book understanding.
Yes. So when we talk about visible object is not conditioned. A visible object that's seen outside the body is not conditioned by karma. So no life faculty in that group, but it has to arise in a group of rupas conditioned by temperature. But some groups of rupas are conditioned by karma, such as eye sense or ear sense, masculinity, femininity, and so on. So these groups of rupas have to be conditioned by karma and include the life faculty rupa as well. So just little by little. Yes,
thank you.
yes.
Yes, because sometimes when we listen to the Dhamma discussion, sometimes we have to, even when we read the book that written by the disciple of the Buddha, we have to know the context, what they talk about. Sometimes, isn't it, Sarah? Yeah,
The
like
context, and even more, there has to be some understanding of the reality now, because if there's no understanding of what seeing is now, or what is seen now, as we've been discussing, we can read so many details and different contexts in the books, but it can all be misunderstood about life faculty and so on. And so that's why the understanding has to begin with what appears now, and why Ajahn said, does it appear now? For example, memory, sanya, does it appear now? No, it doesn't appear now. What is seen now appears now. Hardness that is touched appears now. So she also talked about the 3 rounds, and she mentions the 3 rounds in each discussion. So just very briefly, these are the 3 phases of the understanding of the 4 noble truths that the Buddha taught about. The first one being the truth of dukkha, that whatever arises and falls away is unsatisfactory. And the first round, the first phase, is the Satchanyana. It is the knowledge about each truth, the firm intellectual understanding about each of the 4 noble truths, beginning with the first truth of dukkha. And without this understanding, the right intellectual firm understanding, there cannot be the second round, which is the Kichanyana, the knowledge or understanding of the task that has to be accomplished with regard to each of the 4 noble truths, the task of understanding, directly understanding what is dukkha now, what is the cause of dukkha, and so on. So teacher means task. So it's the task that has to be accomplished by the development of right understanding in order to lead to the third round, which is kata jnana. Jnana means understanding. Kata means what has been achieved, what has been understood, what has been accomplished. So the third round is the understanding of what has been accomplished, the understanding that has been developed of the Four Noble Truths, beginning with dukkha and finishing with the path leading to the way. So the third round, the Kata Jnana, refers to the direct realization of the Four Noble Truths. So all in all, there are 12 modes, 3 rounds of Four Noble Truths, 12, 3 times 4, 12 modes or phases altogether. So the point is that without the firm intellectual understanding about different dhammas, different realities, what is appearing right now at this moment, seeing now, different what is seen, there cannot be the direct understanding of those realities. And without the direct understanding, there cannot be any realization. So if one thinks that one can just go and practice and later there will be understanding, it's not right at all. There has to be the firm understanding of all these subtle dhammas from the beginning, or as anatta, no thing, no person, just different dhammas arising and falling away, nama dhammas and rupa dhammas.
Yeah, sorry, Sarah. When hearing you talk about the 12 type of Kachayana, like what you count before, like Sachayana, Kachayana, and Katanyana. Yeah, that 12 different mode. That 12 different mode when they count from Sauta, like Sauta, Patamet around, you know. But underneath that, they don't, if we count under below Sauta Patamet, it's not only 12 because Sauta Patamet Kachita, yeah, do have done all those 3 although have also have those 3 jnana like Sachayana, Kachayana, and Katanyana at the level of Sauta Patamekajita. Yeah, and Sakatiya Kevimekajita and Anakemekajita and Arahatamekajita also have those 3. That's why they have 12. Yeah. That's what I learned, that, but I'm not so sure.
Yes. So when we read the very first sutta, the Buddha taught the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the very first sutta, he talks about these 3 rounds. So the first round, now we're discussing and considering the first round. So the first round, the Satchanyana, is just beginning to consider and understand about what life is now, for example. So I think it's enough. We can just learn more about what the realities are now, because without this firm understanding about daily life realities, truths, hearing now what is heard, different from what is thought about, there will never be the developed understanding.
Yeah, that's true.
So just 12, 3 rounds, 4 noble truths.
Yeah. Thank you. That's why I like the way Ajahn teaching. Make it simple, make like the realize appear. It's a bit simple and understand more.
And it's now, yes.
Yeah, more understand that how deep the Dhamma is.
Yes, and this is how
we understand a lot, you know.
Yes, and this is how the Buddha taught even in the very first sutta, pointing to now the truth that each reality in life now is unsatisfactory because it arises and falls away. This is the truth of dukkha. So even seeing now is dukkha, thinking is dukkha, panya now is dukkha. whatever arises and falls away is dukkha. So this is why there can be careful considering about the 3 rounds, even at this moment, and how we can appreciate that without the firm understanding intellectually about the different realities, there cannot be any further development.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. We're running out of time, so Ajahn may like to add more.
So, what round is it now?
The first at the start of the first round, Ajahn. Without you, maybe haven't started yet. Only book understanding.
All I conditioned, it's your own considering, no matter who said any word of the teachings. All depends on the accumulation of your own understanding. That's why it's so very subtle. That's why no matter who speak about it, I, Kun Sarah, Kun Jonathan, Kun Sukhin, and other people, we are talking about the truth be considered again and again and again, in different manners, different angles, different aspects, just to build up the understanding of the truth that is so very deep. That's why each question is not just to try to answer correctly, but to understand the depth, the subtlety of the reality we are talking about. For example, we are talking seeing, it seems that we have no doubt about seeing. But is there doubt about seeing? See,
Not only know.
that's it. That's it. That's why we learn to understand the first round. Not enough to know that it's real and it's there now, but the way to realize the truth only when there is the moment of attending to just the reality which experiences the object, the seeing at moment of seeing, the hearing at moment of hearing, the smelling at moment of smelling. Otherwise, only the object are the object of attention, right? What is it? See, instantly. What about the reality which experiences it? That's why no matter how much we learn about it, but if it's not directly known as object of understanding, it's not the understanding of the reality, the citta, as not me, not anyone at all. So we just learn about it. But when it appears, imagine the understanding of that reality which experience the object. No word of sight, no word of sound, nothing is there, only that which experiences the object. Does its object appear at that moment?
Sorry, which object you mean? Sorry.
Seeing right now. Seeing
Seeing.
right now. Hearing anytime. Citta arises to experience the object.
It
So the,
appear. It appear, but only to citta, not appear to the panya.
so the object of citta appears like sound or sight, smell or taste, but the experiencing the citta itself, does it appear?
It happens, it arises, but not appear.
Because it's just the first round of Ariya Satya, only the first round. Understand this moment, there must be that which experiences the object. But It does not appear to be studied, as it is no one, nothing, only nothing appear as something, only that which experiences is there. Is it subtle?
So subtle, so deep.
That's why without the first round, there cannot be the second round, and there cannot be the third round. So the most precious reality is right understanding. Among those realities arising and falling away, right understanding is the most precious. It can understand little by little, gradually, the words of the truth from the enlightenment. Each word is so deep. For example, all dhammas are anatta. Sabbe dhamma anatta. See, sabbe, all dhammas, each reality, anatta, just arises and falls away instantly, never to arise again. Who knows? Where were you yesterday? See, not more,
No,
not more.
no one knows.
And seeing yesterday never arise again. Even just seeing a moment ago never arise again. It's so true. The first round, confidence of the truth, Satya Parami, so firm, so true, with patience, courageous, Viriya, Kanti, Nekama, Adidana. If it's not firm enough, how can there be the second round of the Four Noble Truth? The development of experiencing what is there as it is directly. Now we are talking about seeing, not directly understand the seeing, the
No,
truth,
never.
see, but just talking about it in order not to be forgotten that there is a reality from birth to death, each moment, experience the object, but it's not known yet. Just know that it's there all the time, each moment, but its nature, its characteristic does not appear to be known because no, not enough confidence of the first round of the truth. Why not? It's always forgotten. Is it true? So
Yes, it's true.
how can it be this appearing this moment? Because no thought about it. Even right now, we just talk about it. And in a day, is there any moment thinking about it, about its nature, about the reality there as that is it, experiencing any moment, any time in life, from birth to death, when one is fast asleep or waking up, see, each moment it's there, unknown. But if it's not known, how can there be the letting go of taking it for I from life to life? Years and years ago, and more years ahead. Never get out of the cage of ignorance and attachment. Just experience what is there from seeing to hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking, 6 way, in a day, each day, around and around and around, from one doorway to another doorway. So, is it true?
it's true.
So
Yeah,
it's
and I think that
firm
every day
understanding. Yeah, it's firm
ignore and
understanding.
accumulate the most.
Yeah, that's why the best moment in life is understanding the truth now. What is there now? So how many moments in life to get closer to realize the truth? Because the truth is so close, but always forgotten. Until the teachings of the Buddha about whatever is there, deeper and deeper, subtle, so very subtle, the more understanding of the truth, the more subtle it is, because it can penetrate the truth of what is there, accumulated eons and eons and eons ago. But it's still that which experience the object and Cetasika and Rupa unknown, until it's known, little by little, gradually, so gradual, from moment to moment, unexpectedly. When will it condition instantly direct awareness with understanding of one object right now by conditions? All depends on conditions. If just hearing with the idea of self, wanting I to understand more, that's not the way.
Blinking again.
Mhm. That's why only hearing again, considering again, understanding again, little by little. No expectation for any stage of understanding. Because right understanding and all kinds of realities develop by itself, unknowingly, all the time, even right now. So, no one, only Citta, Cetasikas, and Rupa. So it's time now to say สวัสดีค่ะ